Good morning and welcome to Saturday's special of Dr.Lamba's Awakening Call. Yesterday was the festival of Holi. Some call it the advent of spring, and that is really so. Some call it almost a harvest season. But the festival is celebrated all over the subcontinent of India and wherever Indian Diaspora is there. Festival of colors, enthusiasm, revelry, and people splash color on each other lovingly, embrace each other, exchange sweets, and all that is done without reference to caste, creed, high, low, old, young. One comes in equanimity, oneness, and sameness on the stage. And many times I have seen that the colors are so vivid, and each one with the face, and the arms, and the body, and the clothes covered with colors, you cannot even recognize it. All become one. What it is, of course, everybody knows about the story, the mythological story of Prahlad and Holika, where the father was an atheist and the son was a firm believer in God. And the father ultimately had ordered that his sister, who was blessed with a boon not to be burned, should take Prahlad in her lap and they should be burned to death. And lo and behold, Prahlad was alive and the lady who was blessed with a boon died. So the value of the boon was not there. This ceremony of Holika Dahan, the burning of Holika, is observed on the full moon night in the month of Phagun, that is March, February. This is the period there is a scientific reason for this ceremony, and the people have forgotten that. Most of the people are not even aware that it's not only the real mythology, but it's a symbol. Now what happens, this is a period of mutation of winter and spring. They are mixing. Winter is receding, spring is advancing. And this warmth induces the growth of bacteria. And this bacteria growth is not only in the atmosphere but also in the human body. When Holika is burnt, the temperature rises to above 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Following the tradition, people perform prikrama, that is going round the fire. And what happens? The heat from the fire, which they are circumambulating, kills the bacteria in the body and cleanses it. Now this fact, people are not aware why they are going round in circles around the fire. But the reality is the exposure to the heat in the old days when the air conditioning was not there would kill the bacteria which is going to grow in the body, that heat. Because ordinarily in the homes when you heat, it's not that high heat, not 145 degrees. So the body inside is cleaned. Then camphor is used in Holika Dahan. The real, if you look at it, this very clearly said that when you are burning the wood and Holika, the symbol of the aunt of Prahlad, then you use camphor. Now when the camphor is burnt, the vapors from that destroy the virus in the air. As a matter of fact, in the Ayurveda, camphor and Google, not Google but Gagul, this is a herb. When they are burnt, the smoke from that purifies. Then It is advanced. At that time, the winter was slowing down, heat was coming, and India being an agriculture country with essentially wheat crop, and as the season changes, the leaves start to fall. So when the light is big fire is lighted, all the waste is burned. So in the reality, the symbolism of Holika, which has a scientific reason, is forgotten. Then the holy fire connotes this event in Hindu mythology as the conquest of lust by Shiva. Now again, this aspect, while the body is being cleaned, while the atmosphere is being cleaned, you have also been cleaned of the emotion of the lust and discrimination, as its oneness or discrimination is over. Shiva, because of this, is conquering lust, is also called Kameshwara or Mara Ripu or Madana Ripu, indicating the one who has conquered lust. Conquered not only lust but all desires. This story related to Shiva, who was in deep trance doing his meditation. Kama, the god of love, or the lust, also called Manmata or Madana, the son of Krishna and Rukmani. Wife of Kama is Rati. Lord Indra, the king of Devas, wanted a commander to lead the forces of the war with the demons. And the war with the demons, Tarka is. Now, Tarka was the son of Bhajangra and Varangi. He had propitiated God, Brahmadeva, and he was given a boon that only a 7-day-old child can kill. Now, a 7-day child cannot even express how he could kill, but so this was a problem. This demon, who was blessed with eternal life because of this boon, so he started misusing it. So they approached Brahma to destroy Tarka. Brahma told him that only Shiva could destroy it. So they sought the help of Kama, the god of love in Hindu mythology, to drag him from his meditation and generate an issue with Parvati. This alone could vanquish Tarksura. Now Kama agreed. He shot his arrows at Shiva, but Shiva was not beaten. Ultimately, in a final effort, he shot a powerful arrow. Shiva was offended and opened his third eye. Mara was burnt and turned to ashes immediately. The way Holka was burnt, so ashes are there. Subsequently, at the request of Vrati and the Deva, the angels, Shiva restored him in the form of Pardumya. Now his intimate friend is Vasanta, the spring. So, when he takes place, it's like phoenix, rising from the ashes. So Greek mythology and Hindu mythology, they are having again a convergence as Iliad and Odyssey resemble Ramayana and Mahabharata. Now, the son of Pratamnya is Aniruddha. He is armed with bow and arrows, and bow is just being a line of bees, and the arrows are a string of flowers of different plants. So then, Shiva and Parvati had created a child, Kartikeya, who built Taraka. And he killed Taraka on the 7th day of the birth, after 7 days. Now, that is what Holka is. So one said Prahlad, then the lust, that desires, and the devil being vanquished. That is the story which is often forgotten. Now, why the colors are used? The wide variety of colors is used because of various reasons. Blue is used because it represents Nilkanta, the blue-necked one, Shiva. he had drunk the poison to save the creation. So blue is a reminder, basically, reminder of the survival of the goodness. It also reminds that the evil exists, but with courage and right action, the evil can be conquered and defeated. Then historically, blue, and it was used the indigo blue, indigo color, natural color, and it's historically linked with India. Even in the 1st century AD, a Roman historian, Pliny the Elder, had written about indicum, a production of India, which is a marvelous combination of purple and the sky blue. So, this blue basically represents the conquest of the evil. Now, of course, in Pliny times, indigo would probably be shipped to the Roman port of Ostia in the form of cakes. It was vulnerable enough to be faked. But it's intensive to process, and it has been cultivated where the labor is cheap. You remember, in the heydays of slave plantations in Caribbean and South Carolina in the 18th century, the pricing of the Indian plantation out of the market. But when the slavery abolished, then the British planted indigo again in Bengal, where the conditions were ideal. But then there were two mutinies, one in 1860, other in 1970, blue mutinies. But that's a different story. Now, blue being a color of spirituality, you see the Hindu gods have this color. Green again is a color used for nature and happiness. Is the color of any manifestation of Vishnu. Lord Rama, who spent most of his time in exile in the forest, was representing green. In Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, even now in central India especially, married women wear green bangles and a green sari in Ram's honor. A widow never wears a green. So, then the yellow, which is, these four are predominant: green, blue, yellow, and red. Yellow is associated with the third caste of the Hindu caste system, Vaishyas, the merchants. And if you read Rig Veda, there is a sacred hymn refers to Lord Vishnu as Tantru Vardhan, the weaver who wove the rays of the sun into a garment for himself. The rays of the sun are being woven into cloth and worn by Lord Vishnu. Now, Vishnu and Krishna are always shown dressed in yellow, pitambar. In paintings of these deities, the artists have sometimes used one of the stronger ones, but the yellow color is predominant with the merchants and with the spirituality. Are you aware that it's a color of weddings, of life and internal, like red, And not only for Hindus, but even for Muslims, Buddhists and Jains, yellow color is very important. You look at it, any Muslim wedding, you would find on the day of the wedding, when a couple of days before wedding, they are dressed in yellow. Then on the marriage day, they are red. Now, Holi is a much awaited festival. People long for the day, and at the end of the day, they get together, have memories, forgotten, and diagnosis. And what happens? People forget. It's a stress buster. Now, Holi. So one is the celebration, the second is symbolism, the third is the colors used are representative of the main things in life. Then it is an extreme relaxation and stress buster. Wouldn't you like every day to have fun and frolic? This word of ours is a word of limitations and duality. But Holi is celebrated just one day. And our means and ability to experience happiness are clearly over there. and our body is constrained by all the things. So it's an unending journey, but then comes a respite, the oasis in the desert. Holi is the oasis in the desert. And if you look at it, the real happiness lies in our contentment and relationship on the spiritual plane. And here the rich and the poor, they embrace each other. At that time, then caste system came in a hard way. But there was a time when even the lowest person would come, apply tilk or color on the master, the landlord, and it was absolutely a common level. Now, as a matter of fact, Holi is a representation of, as I said, the colors which represent the qualities of life, and then colors are not only applied to the human beings, but they are also applied to the deities. And color is also given in many places as a sacrament, lovingly shown. So the result is that this is a day of enjoyment and also spiritual exaltation. And that's why Holi is holy, a sacred day, a day of sacrament. And on the other side, every day of our life should be a holy, a day of enjoyment. So it's a combination of spirituality and enjoyment. The real thing being that you are meant to live, do your job, and with that comes enjoyment. And Holi represents spirituality, symbolism of our life, conquest of evil, conquest of our desires, and replenishment with colors. So, on this Holi, I hope you thought of it as not as a holiday, but as a holy day, and wish you to make every day of your life a holy day, a day of enjoyment. For therein lies happiness and joy. Thank you.